Hey traders, this is Taylor with Top Pick Trading. I want to give you guys a Wednesday chart review. It's Wednesday, December 13th, 2023, and today was FOMC day. You can see, as per usual, we had some typical sideways action into that meeting, and then we had a big uptrend here with almost perfectly two measured legs up. I didn't see much this morning in this tight little range, and then we got some really nice setups today. So let's get started. All right, so 8 o'clock came right in here. You can see it's, about as flat as it gets through here, through the overnight. Pushes higher here. We get a second entry long, but it's kind of like trading a breakout, and this is just all so sideways, all within this big bar right here. So no trade there. We do get this like failed second entry long at this resistance, but it's just so sideways, and it's a little bit worrisome that something like this may be at play at the time. So I didn't mark that. There's really not much room to the MA either. Would have worked. Pushes really strong to the low side here. Creates a new low for the day right at the open. I don't see anything through here. Second entry short. Forms way up here above the MA, and by that time it's a close outside a new low. Chops sideways a little bit here. Pushes below the MA, and then we just get terrible, just sideways action. There's nothing through there at all. Then we get this little spiking channel up. It's kind of hard to find this. It was kind of weird little price action. Nothing fit really great, but I do think it's this little spiking channel with a break and a few legs up. It runs up to the overnight highs. Tries to go higher several times, pushes lower, no signal bar. Drops lower. We have a break and new low from this little downtrend here. So for that reason, I didn't mark this failed second entry long. Really good bar right at the EMA, but really hard to trust in this range type action with no clear downtrend at play. Ends up being a bigger downtrend, but you don't really know that at the time. Unless you had something like this, and that fits decently, but at the time it would have really looked like this. So it's just kind of hard to trust. So I didn't mark anything through there. Does chop lower, just nothing here, and then we get this like triple test here, but we just bounced at the lows, and you got this little micro uptrend in play. Just a first entry, inside bar, doji. So didn't mark that. That does end up pushing below the overnight lows of the range. And then it's about 1 o'clock right in here, so no trades anyway through the FOMC meeting starting. And you can see the meeting started right here. Floated higher, you want to be flat for probably 15 minutes, or at least until it starts cooling down. And today, actually, the move, the quick part of the move was only about 5 minutes, and then it really started going back to normal through here. So anyway, it pushes really strong to the upside here, and then folds over into this spike in channel. There's no setups through here. You get the second entry long, but it formed really high, and that's really far from the MA and close to this high. So, chop sideways. I don't see anything through here. Pushes higher. You get this second entry long here that ends up failing. I still think this is a pretty decent setup to take a chance on. There's pros and cons to this trade here. So one of the pros is you have this really strong upward bias right now. The EMA keeps holding on these swings. You have a really good signal bar, still fairly close to the EMA. It's right at the key entry point of the spiking channel as well. And setup bar is decent as well. The downsides or the cons to this trade are we came up short of that spiking channel right here. You also have a very strong downtrend, micro downtrend in play. It did get rejected at the EMA, but you see those 4 consecutive bear bars closing near their low. So a lot of the times when you get these strong, intense moves like this, even at a local level, they like to get a second leg, and you can see that's what ended up happening here. And then the final downside that I see is that bar didn't trigger. So you got on your potential entry bar, it just sat there, couldn't tick above. So next bar ends up ticking you in, and then by that time it does look a little congested as well since it didn't trigger on this bar. But if you still entered that, personally, I thought it was good enough still. There is some downsides to it, like I said, but I entered this, and unfortunately got a loser there. But that happens sometimes. You get these little fake outs, and then the good setup comes right after. So in my opinion, that's what happens here. You get the second leg down from this little downtrend, and then you get this visual second entry long. It's technically a third entry, or even a first entry if you reset the count here. But clearly, leg down, two-legged correction, leg down. strong bar that closes above the EMA. I dropped the limit in here and got in this trade. I think it's pretty good. Wish it ticked below right here, but still, clearly 2 legs. This uptrend's very likely to get a retest. So I think if you took this trade, it's good. And then if you wait just a second, you get an even better trade here. Get this higher low, ticks 1 below, turns up, finishes on its high. Really good bar. So yeah, that's really, if you didn't enter here, definitely enter on this higher low. And it pushes to the upside very strongly. You may actually have this uptrend at this point if you really trusted the way it's grinding up that trend line. But as far as major touches, this is really just the second one. So just draw it there and see if it comes into play later. What I'm really trying to say is, independent of it bouncing at a potential key entry point here, you can still expect a retest on this spiking channel. So, like I said, it pushes higher, chops higher. Don't see anything through here. It just starts going really sideways. You wouldn't have this spiking channel yet. You may start considering it at this swing, and then it bounces here again. Then up here, certainly. But at the time, you may just be trusting the EMA here. You get this first entry, second entry long, and also new low here from here. You get a first entry, failed second entry short. Great local BA as far as the setup and signal bar. Problem I have with it is just right into where we keep turning right in this resistance. You know, it's so bullish that it's got a good chance still, but I still marked it as slightly too aggressive because it's right inside the top of this range. If it either formed lower, where there's room to the top of the range, I think it's a good trade, or even if it formed above this range high and kind of like broke out and came back for a breakout pullback, I think it'd be a pretty good trade. But man, it's just right into the eye. So at a very local level, it may be a little bit too aggressive, but that signal bar sure is nice right at the EMA on such a bullish day. So got to decide there for yourself. I personally would wait. So push higher, make a new high here. We come back and get a first entry long, and I wouldn't want to reset the count here necessarily because this body is higher than this body. So this clearly looks like 2 legs back. First entry long, second entry long. At this point, you would have this blue spiking channel, and like I mentioned earlier, you would also have at this point this orange colored channel. So when we get this second entry long with a bar closing on its high, it's also a triple test right at this key entry point, right at this key entry point. So spiking channel, the golden uptrend or the orange uptrend, this triple test of the support, second entry long, EMA. You got to take that trade. That's probably the best one of the day, either that one or the higher low down here. You pretty much have to take that trade, and you got plenty of room to these highs if you want to get out there. Ends up running a lot higher. You maybe get just the smallest little overshoot from this spiking channel here. Regardless, you don't really get a setup when it comes back. You get a first entry long, and then nothing forms for the second entry long. Pushes way lower, below the EMA. Chops sideways, pushes lower once again, and then you get this second entry short. If the day wasn't so bullish, at a local level, if you're looking just at this downtrend here, this would be a pretty tempting second entry short, and also this is the new high, so failed second entry long. So tempting at a local level, but personally, no way I'm shorting it after this big move. So something to consider maybe on a different type day, this type trade right here, but no way on today, in my opinion. Ends up pushing lower, and then pushes back into that EMA, and then that's 330. Nothing through here anyway, even if you were looking. You can see we almost got 2 measured legs just perfectly on the day. Still trying right now, but a couple ticks away. So really nice price action this afternoon. Really obvious. Unfortunately, you got this one little trap here. Did have pros and cons, like I mentioned, but besides that, if you just waited, if you got trapped on that one, you still got 3 or 4 good setups through here. Maybe one aggressive one as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully we get some more nice movement like today coming out of that FOMC meeting. So yeah, wouldn't surprise me if we don't, just because we're going into holidays, but just appreciate the days like today. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.